going off that, Joker, can I ask your opinion on, or at least your vibe check for how do people in Destiny feel about vaulting? Because for me, that was the thing that made me go, like, I had teetering and been like, oh, maybe I'll go back to this. And then I saw vaulting, I just went, I'm out. Like, for me, that's just wild. So but setting aside development reasons, obviously.
It went like, there was basically a paradigm shift with the opinion. So when it first happened, everybody was like, okay, well, we're not playing this content. That content was crap. It's bad. It's old, whatever. Give us the new.
Okay.
Then over the course of years, you started just seeing, instead of getting new content, which was kind of the promise there, it'd be like, okay, we have to get rid of this content because it takes too long to, at least on Bungie's end, allegedly, test the game, basically, and do builds. And if builds fail, the Tiger engine is notoriously bad.
Yes, I remember when they were trying to render stuff. And sorry.
No. It's basically, if you go back and like look at the history of the Tiger engine, they've taken a engine made for a box product and tried to make MMOs, and it's just not working. Yeah. So what they ultimately decided to do is do the content vault and start like shelving content. Well, now their main content is just bringing content back. And when you have just bringing content back with horde mode after horde mode after horde mode after horde mode after horde mode, I am so flipping done with horde modes, man. And that being the only way that you're interacting with the game, because you don't have crafting, you don't have gathering, you don't have stories, you don't have like going to some random FC ward in, the lavender beds and like joining a rave. You're just horde mode, and then maybe you can go play a strike that you played for the last 5 years, or maybe you can go and play PvP. But oh wait, no, they nerfed shoulder charge, so now like it feels bad just to like move in the game. Or they nerfed in-air accuracy. So like, for people who don't know, in Destiny, you used to be able to do this thing, and they've kind of pulled back on it, but you used to be able to do this wild thing called jumping and firing your weapon.
I'm sensing a little bit of salt, just a little bit.
Apparently, this was too much for some people, and they had to nerf it. I'm not even joking. So when you
that sounds like magic. I don't believe you.
When you would
don't believe your space magic
would like not go where you're aiming, and so it used to be really, really bad, and they've kind of like zoned it in, but they still have it in the game. Or one of my other favorite ones, and they undid it, but it was in Destiny 2 for like the longest time. Sliding into somebody and pulling the trigger on your shotgun was apparently too skillful, and they had to nerf that. And this is where we come into the problem, the constant battle between the casual dad gamer and everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and you have all of this, and it's kind of this combined, there's problems here, problems there, problems here. The cash shop, dad gamers, PvP getting nerfed, classes homogenizing, all your loot's in the cash shop. Still, Bungie promised that they were going to make new ritual sets for Crucible, Gambit every year, and then with Lightfall, there was none. And they're like, well, I guess we'll put a cash shop set out because we did say that, so we'll take it out of the cash shop and put it into PvP. Mm-hmm. And so, like, broken promises, AI, like, look at half the AI. It's just kind of jumping to the side and running at you and firing in your general direction on the screen. Like, you can see it in real time. Or
I think
the only thing that's like doing damage is blast damage, AoE.
I think that's one of the big disappointments of Bungie right now, because one of the key points of why Destiny was so big and why Destiny 2 was so big was Bungie was well known for having such incredible AI with the Halo games. That it's sad to see it drop like this. Like it was, they were really well known. Yeah, Halo was well loved for its AI.
Good. It was really good at convincing you there was more going on than what there was.
Yeah.
Like grunts would break ranks, elites would jump and dodge and dive and like take cover and stuff like that. There was, this really well telegraphed animations. But, and as we've seen with actually Lightfall, you the game can only have so many behaviors before it starts breaking down. And they did this whole thing with the tormentors. They're like, the tormentors are going to be the biggest, baddest, scariest enemies you've ever seen. And then I have like a video of beating them on the hardest difficulty with a sword hilt, you know, and all you're just doing, and it's got the Yankee Shacks or whatever that movie or that music is, like yeah, running around, and it's not hard, and a lot of it is because the AI can be turned off, because the game is just so Swiss cheesed at this point, because they've gone and they've taken content from the base game, you know. Destiny 2, the original Destiny 2 is not there.
Right. So what's this game's future? Because the final shape got delayed and is set for later this year, and Sony is signaling some dissatisfaction with the current state of Destiny and its monetary policies.
So transition.
A couple of ways that this so Sony I think was duped a little bit, and they didn't
$3.6 billion. That's a huge price.
They didn't do their research, because if they did their research, you can go all the way back to Halo 1. Bungie management, which is still like Jason Jones and people like that. Jason Jones is going to be the biggest problem here, by the way. You go back to Halo 1, and Halo 1 almost shipped without multiplayer. A lot of people don't know that. Halo 2 comes around, and they're working on developing Halo 2. Jason Jones already doesn't like the idea of doing sequels. And so he's kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to do this like super awesome PvP thing. And it's basically Battlefield before Battlefield was the idea. And so they wanted to do this huge, 32 player multiplayer thing. Again, remember, on the original Xbox, with Xbox Live just kind of in its infancy. So they're trying to do this. And according to, I think it's Max Hoberman, who is the guy who is now the CEO of Certain Affinity. And he worked on like Halo 2. He's the reason that Halo 2 had the multiplayer that it did, the arena-based multiplayer that everybody knows and loves. But Jason Jones, he and like basically most of the developers spent a year working on this like super awesome big multiplayer thing. A year later, they just had a piece of paper with some ideas on it.